Bridging the gap. Nyomi Banks, the goddess. Tune in. Hey yo, Black, where we at? Elements. Got a problem? What's the issue? Ask Nyomi for advice, she will bless you. Is it sex, love, or relationships? If your spirits are down, you can get a daily uplift. Just listen every word that she speaks. Setting trends with hashtags for every day of the week. Hashtag motivational Mondays, testimonial Tuesdays. I've been listening for the last 2 days. Wet Willie or Wisdom Wednesdays. Either way, the conversation gon' be lengthy. It's not hearsay. This is her way. You know she'll keep you thirst trapping on a Thursday. 4 days down, I'll talk about the number 5 day. Never coy, she always keeps it freaky on Fridays. Spiritual on Saturdays with sessions in the morning. Still uplifting and inspiring you all in. Being the goddess that she is, she keeps you all in. Formed on soul searching Sundays, just call in. If you misinformed, come get the facts. Fortunate for you, she's looking to bridge the gap. Yes, she was a porn star, but she's more than that. She's a certified specialist teaching us how to act. By the end of the show, we'll agree to disagree, but be good to each other and ourselves and keep it sexy. Yeah. Tune in every week to Ask Nyomi. Bridging the gap with Nyomi Banks and Dog Pound Mike. Don't miss it. Tune in.
All right. It's your girl, the goddess Nyomi Banks, and welcome to another episode of Ask Nyomi, Bridging the Gap podcast. This is where we talk about love, sex, relationship, cultural differences, and so much more, while bridging the gap between them all and teaching the world on sex, attitude, language, and spiritual uplifting. How are y'all? How you doing, Dog Pound Mike?
I'm all good.
What's going on, baby?
I'm ready to level up.
Are you ready to level up? I know that's right, but look, y'all, I got a whole new thing going on right here. I pushed myself a little ways back. You might see a little knee here and there, a little knee here and there. But actually, I want to welcome my BTG crew. What's going on? I see all of y'all in the comments. How y'all doing? Yep. As well as I see you all over there at Twitter, Facebook, watching us live. How you doing? Yeah. How you doing? I had to make sure that I'm able to, speak to you as well as our live, as our streaming. Right. Mm-hmm. Right. All right. So today's topic, I'm actually piggyback on my Tuesday live on Instagram, Tuesday Tea Time with Nyomi Banks, where we kind of, just talk about random topics. But better yet, there are more of affirmations or quotes that I get from off of my I'm about to call it tea time, off of my yogi teas. I love those teas, those yogi teas, and they have some really, really good quotes and comments. And I usually, kind of give my, how it relates to me, and I usually ask my fans on how it relates to them. So I kind of did it like an open forum for them, so we can sit and we can talk, and then we have some people come on live, right there on Instagram, and we talk about, those things, about that topic and some other stuff. So that was a good one, but it was a young man. I'm okay. So let me not say a young man or your young woman, but we were speaking on relationships. And I said, this would be a really good topic because I know you and I, Dog Pound Mike, that we were talking about the different levels of relationships.
Yep,
right?
Yes, we were.
All right. So let me say this. The topic for today is relationships, and it is levels to this shit.
Watch your mouth now.
Yes, but this we're gonna do. We're gonna take a quick break. I know we just started. We're gonna take a quick break, and we're gonna come back, and then we're gonna start a conversation. So let me tell you this, and I'm gonna be real. I'm real raw, authentic, and honest with it. We're coming out straight from the dome. With this, from experience and all of those things. So get ready. This your girl, the goddess Nyomi Banks, here on Ask Nyomi, Bridging the Gap podcast. We'll be back. Hey, it's your girl, the goddess Nyomi Banks, and are you ready to get shaped by the goddess? Well, you go over to shadegoddess.net, where we have all the sexy luxury style glasses for both men and women.
that you can get your sexy on. You can go out looking like a goddess or a god. But make sure you check out Shade Goddess, the ShadeGoddess.net. Come get officially shaded by the goddess. That's ShadeGoddess.net.
All right, all right. I hope y'all got y'all Shade Goddess and been shaded by her. Yeah, I know what it is. All right, it's your girl, the Goddess, Nyomi Banks, here on Ask Nyomi Bridging the Gap podcast, where we talk about love, sex, relationship, culture differences, so much more, while giving you some spiritual uplifting as well. We talk about everything. Everything. Yeah, I said everything. Yeah, that's what I said. Everything. I'm here with my boy, Dog Pound Mike. What's going on, baby?
What's happening? What's going on now?
You know what? Let me say this. So earlier this week, I went to go get my eyes checked. It was time for me to get a new prescription.
So you can see what you've been missing, huh?
Well, yes. So I can see what I've been missing. So let me tell you. Let me tell you this. Even though I might not look, and people say you don't look like you're 50, but in ways my eyes would tell me, my body would tell me, like, you 50. You getting old. So I go into the doctor's office, in the eye doctor's office. I go and I'm thinking, usually my eye prescription is a little bit, just a little bit worse. Mm-hmm. Not as much. Not as much. Let me put this out there. I've been wearing glasses for 45 years. I've been wearing glasses since I was 5 years old. So I've been blind as hell.
Wow.
For 45. Yes, for 45 years. Yes, I have. Yes.
Out there like Stevie Wonder.
See, you tried it. But seriously, when I sat in the thing, and you can never get, when when you sit there and they give you the little eye thing and then this little poof that,
mm-hmm.
in your eye, I promise you, that would never get old. That it shocks me every time.
No, you know it's coming, huh?
Man. Oh, right? And the thing is, it's coming. But even though it's coming, see, there you go. I just, in my mind, I just made a whole little joke to myself about that coming. Like, you know what I'm saying? When I'm on my knees and I'm sitting down and shooting on a film and I know that it's coming.
Wow.
I just went there. Okay, let me stop. But anyway, it went in my eyes like, oh my God, like I can't believe that I'm not used to this. Like every year I go get my eyes checked, getting a new prescription. You understand what I'm saying? But this time, like it was startling to me because actually I did not go in 2021. For some reason, I just didn't go get a new prescription. But so we go in, after you do that we go in and we sitting there and he's talking. And then he said, wow, he asked me, he said, have you been diagnosed with diabetes? And I'm laughing right now, but it ain't funny. But now I'm laughing. I'm like, well, why you say that? He said, because your eyesight has been deteriorating a lot. And usually it's because, usually someone has diabetes. And I'm like, wow. Are you kidding me? And he was like, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm like, wow. And what I'm laughing at now is because my dad had passed away from diabetes. I know it's not funny. And a lot of my family members have diabetes, and I remember when my auntie Jackie, when she was here, she has diabetes as well. And I remember her saying, let me test you, test your sugar level. I was like, no, I ain't got that.
Wow.
I was like, no, I ain't got that. And then when he said that the other day, I was like, wow. So then when I looked at my prescription, on my contacts, from my contacts and my glasses, I was like, wow, like literally. So right now I have some testers on with the new prescription.
Okay.
So let me say this, and I'm going to say this loud for you BTG and whoever new that's in here, that I might misread some things. I might misread some things because we're trying out like 2 different type of prescriptions. We're trying out me from distance and me being able to read, you know, close on the computer. I mean, on a computer and a laptop, you know, because that's where most of my work come from, is editing online and stuff like that. So if y'all see me go like this a little bit, that's because I'm trying to, you know, get my focus in.
We hear you. We hear you.
Yeah, to try to get my focus in.
We got you.
Yeah, you got me. You got me. All right, so let's go back. So let's talk about this subject about relationships.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the biggest misconception is when people talking about dealing in relationships, they always think it's about a love affair. They always think it has to, when you talking about, you know, for me, I counsel not only on love, sex, but relationships. And when people hear that, they think automatically it's about a boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, and wife. They never think that we as a whole, speaking, like me speaking to you, Mike, this is a type of relationship.
Right.
Your parent is a relationship. For your mother, your father, that's a relationship. Your sister and brother, your daughter, your son. You understand what I'm saying? Like those in those relationships. So those are things that I truly counsel in.
Mm-hmm.
Those is really having each other relate to each other.
Totally understand that. Yeah.
That one. So today we're going to try to break it down. We're going to try to break it down so we can understand what's the levels of relationship is, and understanding what those goals are per relationship, right?
Sounds good.
Per relationship. And also I'm so welcome for any of my BTG crew out there that want to join us online. Join us right here live. You please let us know. Hit us up in the private message right here on YouTube. YouTube Live. Hit us right here, and Dog Pop Mike will send you a link where you can join us right here online. Mm-hmm. But I want to start off with the first. I think this is the most important relationship that you can have, and that's a relationship with yourself.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Yeah. I believe, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, I believe that you need to realize what it is that makes you happy and that you could communicate with. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does make sense. I guess what makes you happy and what do you want out of life, I guess. Or
right.
Yeah, okay.
Right.
From yourself.
Right. For myself, and how you want others to treat you too.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? So I know, and I have to always go back on this self-love, because that's truly, I think that's the ground. I think that's the foundation of any person or anything. You understand what I'm saying? Because within that self-love, you have to have love for yourself. You have to have a spirit of yourself. You understand what I'm saying? So all of those things, that's that foundation.
Right.
So you need to have that self-love. So have that relationship with yourself. And for me, I am very honest with myself. Sometimes a little bit too honest and too brutal on myself, where I don't, what they say, sometimes I'm not nice to myself because I look for myself to be perfect. I look for perfection in myself.
Okay.
To be perfect. And there's no such thing as perfection.
No, there's not. No such thing as perfect.
No. So even me doing this, even me speaking with you guys right now about relationship, every day I practice self-love. Every day I learn something new about myself that I love, or what I learned about myself that I don't like, but I try to either embrace it and accept it or move on. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
Yeah. So that, for me, relationship with yourself is probably one of the most important things, because that will help you determine on how you move forward with anybody.
Right.
With anyone. All right, the next one. I see that my band and it's like,
Well, you know something I do.
okay,
Sorry.
go ahead.
You know something, and the self love. But I think you were ready to go into it anyway with the next one. And I guess even before we go to the next one, sometimes it's hard for I guess the self love sometimes takes a back seat when you go into, I guess, what you can say, the love of your family, the love of a child, love of a sibling. You know, that's where. Do you think that's where sometimes your self love take a back seat?
Yeah, you know what? Thank you. Thank you for making that a point because I said that the other day. Because when and I'm guilty of this, it's more of you want to do for others more than you do for yourself because you want to make sure that everyone else is happy. So you want to make sure that everyone is taken care of
Right.
before yourself. It's like, because if you feel like if you're taking care of yourself, then you feel like that's a selfish moment.
That's what people will say.
Yeah, that you feel like it's a selfish moment. But I know, especially in the past few months, is that through my messages that I've always been hearing, you need to do self-care. You need to take care of yourself. I understand that you're taking care of all of these other people, but you still need to take time for yourself and put into yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So as much as you're putting into others, you need to do that for yourself. Because if you steady giving to others and not giving to yourself and no one's giving back to you, what does that do to you?
Right.
And then what does that do for others that you're giving to? You know what I'm saying? So are you really, it's like you, and it's going to sound so stupid, giving them some drugs.
What?
I'm not even going to repeat it. I'm not even going to repeat what I heard in my head. Yeah, but it's like some, and I'm trying to find the right word to say with that. It's like I'm giving scraps, so I'm not giving it fully. You understand what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I guess in that case though, and you're right, you're not giving it fully because you're not, taking care of yourself. But sometimes you feel like you're giving it fully because you want the people to understand who you giving it to and who you taking care of, you trying to help.
Mm-hmm.
You feel more about them being okay than you do yourself.
Right.
So sometimes you can sit in your own stuff and say, well, I'm doing everything I can.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing everything that you want me to do.
Right.
But I guess you're really not doing everything for yourself that needs to be done.
No, because you're really trying to build those other relationships, not only build, but also maintain those other relationships.
Right.
Because we do neglect ourselves in trying to, and I don't want to say prove, but trying to be there for everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, for everyone else. All right. So the second one, and I'm going to go here because it's your parents. That's probably the next important relationship. And, okay, so we might disagree on this one.
Okay.
Because I do think parents, for me, because I still do, my mom is still here, but my dad passed on, quite a few years ago. But with that, it's like more of me having a relationship with her is kind of knowing who I am. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Yeah. So knowing who I am, because a part of her is a part of me.
Yeah.
And so for me to better understand who I am and how I will relate to others through her actions, but also in her being, because even the way that she raised me or the way that she treated me, either some of those things I can take, and apply that in my life, or some of those things I can kind of to the side. Right. And not apply that to the life. But me building a solid relationship with my mother, especially now, has been very beneficial for me in how I relate to others.
Okay.
So, right. So if we go back in time, me and my mother was like literally oil and water.
Wow.
Literally oil and water. Now she is one of my bestest friends.
Okay.
Yeah. She is one of my bestest friends. But back then, I don't know if we were so much alike, that we didn't get along, which could have been it. Or as I got older and mature in my age and understood that some of the decisions and choices that she made it beneficial. She thought it was the best decision that she had to make for us as a family,
Right.
versus then taking it that it was a personal thing to me. Does that make sense?
Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
That
So
makes
as
sense.
we got older, so when she retired and I moved her here to the West Coast, that's when I got to know her so much more. I remember when she first moved here, I was like running downstairs to talk to her every morning. Every morning I was sitting down there and talking to her, because I'm telling you, we were oil and water.
Yeah, yeah.
But now it is so much better. But now I understand me better. Does that make sense? I understand me better as well by watching her now through that glass. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Because I mean, as you know, as parents, being a parent now, you can kind of reflect to how your parents were growing up, and a lot of things that we took for granted is they're our parents. They older than us. They don't know what we know, and and as you get older, you realize some of the decisions they was making, why they was making them at that time, and you realize that more now than you would then. So I can understand. I can totally understand how you and your mother relationship is totally different from from growing up. I think most kids and parents is kind of like that,
Right.
you know.
The funny thing is that when I look at my girls, I see 3 different me's. I see my personalities in each one of them, and I literally I parent them differently.
Okay.
I'm sorry. When you have 3 different personalities or 2 different personalities, 5, or how many kids? For me, I don't think you parent each child the same.
No.
I mean, there is no way that you can, because you have they have their own different characteristics, their own different emotions, their own different. So everything doesn't apply to everybody in general. So for me, when I have one doing this, one doing that, and one doing this, and I look at it, and sometimes I see a mirror of myself, I laugh now. You understand what I'm saying? I laugh now. I'm like, oh, okay. Now I see and I understand, because now I understand there are some things that I do that my mom used to do with me and my sister when we were younger. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like now, okay, now that makes me understand how to relate to other people, especially in different generations.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying?
Because it's so many different generations and the way kids do things now, and yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. From there, so that that's my with the parent thing. Let me ask you about you. Can you see anything that for you and your parents, even though they're not here anymore? Can you see some things that for you that make you that help you relate better with other people?
Yes, yeah, I do, because it's a lot of words and phrases that my mom and dad used to say that come back to me now, that will make me relate to other people. Not only my kids, but even people in my workplace. Where I work, it really sits back, because as you get older, you can kind of reflect on things more.
Right.
I think growing up, you kind of reacted. Now since you older, you can more reflect on things that happened as you was growing up. So that will make you react to other people differently. So you won't be reacting all the time.
Oh yeah, because I was a reactor.
I bet you would.
Right, I was a reactor, and now I sit in it and I think. I truly do. I think about where that person was at that time, and what I mean at where they were at that time, and even now is like, where were their emotions? Were they struggling with something? And the thing is, people tell me everything. I don't ask too much of anything, and people just tend to just talk to me about things, and so I kind of already know where people was at, and I knew it then. But the thing is, I didn't know how to react to them. You understand what I'm saying? I didn't know what that was. No, I didn't. Now, really sitting and living life, it helped me to better to relate to people in better circumstances and better situations.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess that is a big part about relationships, whether it's a friendship, if it's a lover, how you relate to them opposed to react to them. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, let me do this. Let me take a quick break. I'm feeling something in my eyes a little bit, just a little bit. All right, guys. So I see my my BTG crew going over here. All right, so we're gonna take a quick break. We're gonna come back, and then we're gonna go to the comments real fast.
Okay.
And then we're gonna come back. All right, it's your girl, the Goddess Nyomi Banks, here on Ask Nyomi Bridging the Gap podcast. We will be right back.
Hey, my sexy people, this is your girl, the Goddess Nyomi Banks, and I just wanted to talk about something a little serious real quick. Right now in this world, sex trafficking is at an all-time high. And I want you ladies to be especially aware when you are out and pay attention to certain things. Now, there's a list of things right here that is going around social media, and I just wanted to pay special attention to it and just share it with you. So as I always say, always keep it sexy, but always be safe. Hey, it's your girl, the Goddess Nyomi Banks, and are you ready to get shaken by the Goddess? Well, you go over to shhhgoddess.net, where we have all the sexy luxury style glasses for both men and women that you can get your sexy on. You can go out looking like a goddess or a god. But make sure you check out Shhhh Goddess, the shhhgoddess.net. Come get officially shaken by the Goddess. That's shhhgoddess.net.
All right, and welcome back to Ask Nyomi Bridging the Gap podcast, where we talk about love, sex, relationship, cultural differences, and so much more, while bridging the gap between them all and teaching the world on sex, attitude, language, and spiritual uplifting. And today we are talking about relationships. There is levels to this. Shh. I am one boy, dog pound. My pipe. What's going on, baby?
We all good. We all good. Different levels.
Different levels. So let me tell you something. I had to take a break because my eyesight is on different levels today.
Wow. You on a different level of seeing. Huh?
Oh my goodness, I'm on a different level of seeing.
And I know these lights don't help.
No, they don't. No, even though they try to make me look a little pretty in the light, but it is hurting a sister, a goddess eyes.
I toned it down a little bit.
Yeah, you toned it down. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. I truly appreciate it. All right, so we got our BTG crew out here, and I love how all of them, they have very insightful information, input. Love it. It's like we cannot do a show without them. They are definitely our co-hosts. I want to thank you all. We got some from Florida, St. Louis, New York, all over the place. Chicago,
down in Florida.
I said Florida, Texas. We got them all. Thank you guys for watching. If you're watching on Twitter and Facebook, hey, how y'all doing? All right, so let's go to Miss T Brown. All right, so Miss T Brown says, I'm always telling new mothers to take time for yourself. It will help you be a better parent and a better relationship with her family. That is truly, that's true. That's the That's true. Why I laugh is because I used to be a teen parent counselor, and during that time, there were a lot of teen parents. I myself was a teen parent that they had to be the mother, the father, and be, taking care of their children. And some of them wasn't able to, finish school. And I remember the program that we had is that where we would take the babies in, and then on Fridays we would counsel the mother, on her on just, parenting skills and, and stuff like that and giving time. And I just remember a lot of them used to sit down and ask me, how did I do it? How do you do it? And I was blessed to have a community with my family members that were able to help me so I can continue to do the things that I wanted to do in life. And so I always told them, it's good to find a community of people to do things. And that's what we were here for, like a part of the community to, to help them figure out, because it's hard raising someone else. And it is. But like T Brown said, is being a mother and taking that time for yourself. It does, because you're relaxing.
Okay.
You're giving yourself that time to breathe. You understand what I'm saying?
I understand that.
Yeah, to give yourself that time to breathe. And sometimes you need that to be able to come back and be that better parent or person for the household.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. We got another one?
Yeah, here go one from Jeffrey.
Naomi, now you older than you know. Wait, hold on. Let me make sure I'm saying this right. Naomi, now you're older than you know what your mother was thinking. So that's why your mom is your best friend now. Exactly. It's funny because when we're children, we see things from whatever that age is. So whether you're 9, you're 10, you're 15, you only understand from that level of things. You understand? Mm-hmm. So you don't really see what really is going on in those situations.
Right.
So you only see what your mind would allow you to see at that age, or what you're feeling that you're not getting, or what is done. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Does that make sense?
Because your parents they only let you see so much.
Exactly.
Only so many things you need to know about the household as being a child.
Exactly. Exactly. So from there, me watching and seeing things, and even seeing how she relates to, myself and my sister, as I got older, I understood why. Because my sister and I have different personalities, and so does my brother. And so my mother had to parent each one of us with those different personalities.
Okay. So
how about you? You're literally parenting yourself. So really, with me, my mother was parenting herself, because I had that very driven personality that she has. I had that very controlling personality that she had. I had that I've always had to have the last word opinion personality that she had. Okay. So as she was speaking to me, I had my own thoughts that I wanted to say to her as well. You understand what I'm saying? So, and it's funny because one of my good girlfriends, I remember a few weeks ago, she got the most gorgeous baby ever. And they were having a little spit spat, and he was challenging her. And, and she kind of got a little upset. And I just laughed. I just laughed at it because literally I saw him. I saw her in him. And it was like, girl, you ain't doing nothing but battling yourself right now.
Yeah.
Literally, you battling yourself right now. So even with parents, so let me say this, because let's go back to the relationship. So even with this, I don't know if any parents that have any young kids that are watching right now or whatever, is that when you're watching your kids, and this will truly help in your relationships with them. Because one thing is that what I built in my girls is a trust level. Is to trust that they can come and tell me anything, and I will not judge them on that. You understand what I'm saying? So even looking at them in the way that they respond to some of the things that I say, I look at, oh, that's me. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying? Like I make accountable, like, oh shit, that's me. That's one of my vices or whatever in them, I would laugh. I would be like, and then I would come back with them with something else that makes sense to them in that age that they are in now. So exactly. So that makes to where we're talking as child and parent to make it to where it's more relatable. So that relationship could be just that more. You know, back in the day when you used to hear some parents that then they used to call them bad parents because those parents wanted to be their children's best friend. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
All right. And they said, oh no, you shouldn't want to be you want to be your children's parents, their mother or their father. You don't want to be their best friend. For me, I disagree with that totally, because you can be a child's parent and you can be their best friend. The one thing is you want your child to be able to trust you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Where they could come to you for anything when they are done wrong or whatever like that. Like if they are lied to somebody and got caught in some shit, you know, whatever. You want to make sure that they come to you first before they go to somebody else that does not have their best interests in mind.
Oh yeah, you're right about that.
Yeah. So, you know, that's the old stuff. But that's where I feel that's where that parent relationship comes in, that I think it comes right after that self-love is that parent, because that's still a part of that grounding, that foundation of you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yes, it does. I got a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as you said that your girls, you saw yourself and some of your traits in your girls.
Mm-hmm.
How early did that start in their lives where you actually like, oh, damn, that's like, shit, that's me, you know?
Well, my middle one, I saw that right off,
Okay.
right off the gate. Actually, my last one, I saw that right off the gate. My first one, you know, she kind of hid her thing a little bit because she was, but no, she was observant, but she was very out there with her. You know, she was very quiet and she just observed.
Okay.
So I observed, but I wasn't observing as she would because she was very quiet. And then she had, as a little girl, she was very intimidating to adults. Wow. Because she wouldn't speak and she would just look and she would just stare at them. And they'd be like, oh my God, why is she staring at me? Like, why is she staring at me? Mm-hmm. And she was just peeping the scene. You know, where me, I'm more boisterous and say it. So she had that part of me, but it was in her own little thing that, you know, that she has with it.
Okay.
But, you know, she was very mischievous. You know, she was my child. And then when I really started seeing is when she got teenage years, and I was like, okay, this is just some shit I'm getting back.
Some shit I did. Okay.
Right. Okay, I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna take that one. Okay, I got that one. You know, so that's what that was. But for I think self-love, your relationship with self, and then relationship with parents, I think is the next one.
Okay.
I think it's the next one. So what do you think is the next one after that?
The next one would have to be, relationship as me with my parents. Then I think the next one would be with your siblings. You know, with your siblings. And, you know, some people don't have siblings. Some people only have a couple. I had 6. You know, so the dynamics will range differently from how many people was in your family. You know? So
how was yours? I mean, because you're one of 6 or you're one of 7?
I'm one of 7.
You're one of 7.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a lot of personalities and a lot of relationships that you had to deal with. So within those relationships, can you give levels on it? And what I mean levels, can you say 1, 2, 3, 4, like one at the top and, you know, 10 at the least of your connection in that relationship?
You know something? It can get broke down the same way you broke down with your daughters. It can be broken down the same way because you have different relationships. I was the youngest boy. I was second to the youngest. Mm-hmm. And, you know, me and my brother, who was right up 2 years from me, older than me, we was close.
Okay.
And we was close for, you know, we close now but we were really close growing up,
Mhm.
you know, opposed to my oldest sister and then, you know, my oldest brother.
Mhm.
And then, but as you go and as you age, you have different relationships with your different siblings.
Right.
You know, because when my little sister came in at 5, my relationship changed, you know, with my brother because that's my little sister. And we kind of, you know, even though she was 5 years younger, you know, that was my baby sister, and kind of did things to her whatever she wanted, because the whole household changed because that was the baby.
Right.
You know? And then as I got older, me and my older sister, you know, got close as I got in my teens, you know, and things like that. So you had different relationships with your different brothers and sisters at different times in your life while you're growing up, you know. So it's hard to say this 1, this 2, this 3. You have to go with, at this time this was 1, and then, you know,
At this time this was 2.
exactly, from
This
5
time
to 10 this was 1, and then your teenage years this was another one, you know.
So let me ask you this. So during that time, did any of the relationships that you have with your siblings, did that help with outside relationships, whether it's been friends or lovers or co-workers or, you know, that?
Yeah, it did, because you know, in those situations too, because and being so we wasn't that far apart really,
Mhm.
you know, because you know, me, my older brother, my older sister, and then my next, we only like 2 years apart each. So it was this way where some of my brother friends became my friends,
Okay.
and then, you know, some of my older sister friends became, you know, I knew them as being around, and her boyfriend was, you know, so it was things like that. So it did change the relationship, because it really taught you how to relate to people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and how to relate for people. You know, my older brother had a good friend, and I became his friends, and now, you know, me and him is like brothers. You know, my older brother still talks to him, but I think I talk to him more. So it showed you how to relate to people, because it's almost like that was another brother. You know,
Right.
still is in our family. You know.
Right.
So yeah, it showed you how to relate.
All right. So let's go come from siblings, and let's go. Well, we went to friends. We talked about friends with you. So let me talk about friends with me. A lot of this is something that I have, and I talked about. My friends become my family.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
they do. And not because I don't have a close relationship with my brother and sister, because I do have a very close relationship with my brother and sister. Me and my sister are 5 years apart. She's like my best friend. She's like my twin. My little brother I can be his damn mother. But we have a very close relationship. I have a very close relationship with my entire family, my cousins, and even my aunties that are, you know, probably between 2 and 10 years older than me. We were all raised like we were sisters, like we were siblings.
okay.
You understand what I'm saying? And that's even comes with my cousins. So even when we say my cousin sis or my cousin bro, because that is how we were raised in that manner. So, and I remember you saying earlier today, like my cousins, they were my first best friends.
Mm-hmm.
Because my first sibling didn't come for 5 years, you know, so those were my first, you know, best friends beside my mom and my dad. So from then on, that kind of helped me to learn different relationships when it comes to, you know, different friends and stuff like that. And it was something that my mom used to always tell me: be more of a friend than a friend is to you.
Okay.
Because sometimes people don't understand and know how to be a friend because of how they have been treated or what they have been taught. You understand what I'm saying?
I hear you.
Some people usually give out what they receive from others, and they don't know how to be that.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Yeah, from there. So for me, a lot of my friends have become sisters and brothers.
Okay.
It's not a lot of them, but they have. but they have. For me, in that relationship, that speak values, because not only are we a melting pot of different cultures and the way that our upbringing is, and we kind of mold all into this one little, pool of, of people that, and what I do like is that, and I think I said this last week, is that when we do speak to each other, with each other, for each other, we also make each other accountable for the other different relationships outside of that circle. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So when we talk about levels, and I know it's going to be messed up when you say your love or your marriage or love comes last. It was something I say, and y'all can correct me or y'all don't agree with me. It was something that I used to say, and I still say, is that my love relationship is the last thing that I want to worry about. And I know, Naomi, what you mean by that? And what I mean by that is that me coming into a relationship, I am very honest about the things that I desire, want, and I need in this relationship. And my question is, can you do that? Then my question is, what do you need from me to make this relationship successful? What do you need from me that you're going to be happy with this union? You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? So if we're telling the truth and our communication is open, then you and I, as a relationship, we shouldn't have those issues. So this right here should be the last thing that I'm worried about. Did y'all get that breakdown?
Yeah.
Did y'all get that breakdown? Look, I don't see nobody out there. Did y'all get that breakdown?
There you go. It's popping in.
Do you agree with that, Dr. Mike?
Yes, I do. And that's the thing. The biggest thing about the love relationship is the communication, and the communication has to go on and be continuous, because as a relationship grows, things change.
Yeah.
People change, situations change. You may have kids, you may have other things that come in, but that communication still has to be direct between the two people in the relationship.
Right. Okay, so we just broke down the whole thing. So, and why I had to say this is because I had a young man that came on and said, how can you give somebody relationship advice and you are a porn star? Well, first of all, you don't know my business. You don't know if I got a man. You don't know if I got a woman. You don't know if I'm in a relationship, because this is something that I have not shared with all. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So you don't know that. You're just judging on what you think I should not have because of what I do.
Right.
But also, what I counsel on is not just a relationship with a lover, but also it's with friends, or it's with your daughter or with your son, on how we relate to each other. So even me speaking to you all now, this is a relationship that we have. You understand what I'm saying? You are a part of my life, whether it's through this right here, from us speaking and us communicating and us relating to each other. That's what relationships are, when you relate to someone.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying?
Oh yes.
Yeah. So I just wanted to I wanted to make sure that people knew that it was more than just a love affair with relationships, that it has to do with you just relating to people in general. Because ultimately, why we were put on this earth is to serve one another. Mm-hmm. It's, you know what I'm saying? It's to where we are in this world together and we're striving to make this world a better place. That's just what it is. And the only way we can know that is start to understand each other. And the only way you can do that is when you talk, conversate, agree to disagree, and respect those, those perimeters of that. Mm-hmm. Period. Everybody is not going to be a porn star. Everybody is not going to be a doctor, a lawyer, a teacher, a mother, a father. You know what I'm saying? But in some way, somehow, we have to learn to where we can relate to each other, because we all have relationships with each other, even them trolls on the internet. It might not be a good relationship, but it's one. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying? So in that instance, I'm kind of breaking it down for you all. It's like, okay, this is where we got to start. We have to start with going back to the self-love, relationship with self, really sitting down and knowing who you are. knowing who you are, what you're going to accept from others, and also what you're going to accept for yourself. Because sometimes we second guess ourselves because of what other people think or want for us.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? So once we start getting that, then we can start, going. So even if you don't get that self together, maybe go back to where you was with your mom and your daddy. Maybe look at that relationship and see what you can find from there that can help this one down here. You understand what I'm saying? Because those two actually is like this.
Right.
Until you really have grown. And still sometimes you got to go back there. And then you could go to the next one. Then you go to the next one. Then you go to the next one. And then the love is the one on top. See? Oh, love. No, I'm just kidding. But that one, the one is on the love on top.
Right.
Y'all, let me tell you something. This went straight from the door. We just got this right here. For real.
Mm-hmm.
But
even in those different levels, though, like you said, though, they all have to, sometimes you have to come back and revisit one.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to come down a level and see what situation to make you better so you can go back up to the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's so funny. I had a conversation with somebody this week and it was so funny. They said, I didn't know you was a porn star until you were singing. And I was like, okay, at one moment it felt good. It did. It was like, oh, okay. And then another moment I was like, oh, really? But I have to understand that, and I do understand that there are different assets of me, or different, what do I say? Dimensions. There's different dimensions of me. Now, this platform was originally created so people can see people like me in a different dimensions and understand that we are more than one dimensional.
Right.
You understand? So Nyomi's world was truly created so people can see me in another dimension, not the dimension that you see in the videos, but just to see that I am of human. I am of spiritual. I have a soul. You understand? So I will come back to that, more and more often. And I will speak more of that, because that is a community. That is a community that is injustly that is judged.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And that is not seen as people. They seem worse than the damn murderers and criminals. And that's messed up. When they're not doing nothing but having sex. They're doing the same thing you're doing, unless you're a virgin. Mm-hmm. But you understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
I'm just trying to humanize us. That's where it started off, was trying to humanize us. Yeah. Go ahead. You gonna say something?
I mean, that's people perspective. That's their moral perspective of it, which does not make it right. Mm-hmm. Because yes, you said they are doing the same thing that adult stars and adult, mm-hmm. people in the adult world are doing. It's just out there more.
Yeah.
You just go see it more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With this one, with Ask Nyomi Bridge the Gap, and it was late last year is when I thought was like, okay, I really need to broaden it out, because it was more of getting advice from the letters that was coming in, and, giving advice, on the sexual relationships and stuff like that. And I've always been a very spiritual person. And it just kept coming to me that you need to fuse both the spirituality and the sexuality both together, and let people know that it's okay to do that, to be that, especially if you with a partner or a mate, that you guys can experience that together and live in that realm together. We have to remember that we all are created through a sexual encounter, of course, mm-hmm. and hopefully is of a positive manner. But also we need to start to learn about ourselves, not only sexually, but spiritually as well. I didn't say religion. I said spiritually as well. And I know that is what I Ask Naomi Bridging the Gap is all about, with that. And I know and I see that this platform is truly going to grow beyond what we can even imagine that is happening. But I'm gonna say this, and I want to thank a lot of my day ones that has been here with me: T. Brown, Yoshi Cooks, Charmaine Super Lover, Jeffrey, Joseph, baby, I see you. Joseph been like forever in a day, been here, and I see some new people. TS, how you doing, baby? Mark, how you doing? And Mark is all the way over on the other side of the world. I thank you for staying up late or getting up early or whatever it is that you are doing. I think I saw God Mama on there and a few more people. I see you guys, and I truly want to thank you guys for continue to support us here at Ask Naomi Bridging the Gap podcast. And as we continue to grow, we definitely going to stay humble. We're going to definitely stay here. Meaning here is not at this level because we going up, but in this loving and humbling moment. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Like we would never be so big that we cannot be able to speak to our day ones or anybody, anybody, you know what I'm saying? But this we're gonna do, we'll take a quick break. We're gonna come back and we're gonna say some closing words. And that will be it. All right, it's your girl, the goddess here, Nyomi Banks on Ask Naomi Bridge the Gap. We'll take a quick break and then we will be back. We became really, really good friends. And when I say really, really good friends, like she's been through with me through my first marriage, through the birth of my kids. She like been there with everything as well as I had. But we had a breakdown. We had a breakdown in communication in all of those things. And let me tell you, the breakdown came down is that where she had found out that she was diagnosed with brain cancer. And I remember, and every time she would call me or I would call her, I would speak with her and have very ups and encouraging words. But this one year, my grandmother had passed out of the blue, and I no longer had any. And at that moment, I felt like, where are my encouraging words for me? And I'm just going to be honest. And I kind of like displaced from her because I felt she was draining my energy. And I don't think she was. I think what it was is that at that time, we needed each other and did not know how to help each other in that need.
Hey, this is Dog Pound Mike from Ask Naomi Bridging the Gap podcast. Come check us out every week. And remember, I'm no relationship expert. I just tell it like I hear it from McKenna. Get back at it.
Woof. It's your girl, the goddess Naomi Banks here on Ask Naomi Bridging the Gap podcast, where we talk about everything from sex, love, relationship, advice, cultural differences, spiritual uplifting. See, I just got a little tongue tie. Uplifting and so much more. Today we was talking about relationships, and it's some levels to this.
Yep.
I'm here with my boy Dog Pound Mike. What's going on?
You got it. It was a nice show tonight.
Why, thank you. In my BTG Crew.
Yep.
Yes, we do live shows every Thursday night right here on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook, as well as we stream it on Fridays on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Spreaker, Apple, all of those different sites out there, everything out there. What I want you to do right now is I want you guys, if you haven't done it already, is to like, subscribe, and even comment. Sometimes I comment back. I need to get better on that one. I really do. But I truly enjoy doing this, and I truly enjoy coming here every Thursday. I just don't know what the topic is going to be. Sometimes we're talking about sex. Sometimes we're talking about spirituality. Sometimes we're talking about relationship. Sometimes we're talking about shit that's just happening in this world that we just need to be able to conversate with each other just to get us through the day. You understand what I'm saying? So this is what this is here for. Again, I cannot thank you all so much, as well as I want to make sure I thank my boys, the Elements, for that dope ass intro song that they give me. They always come on time. They out there from New York. They're my babies. I love them. They've been there for me from day one. And also, Dog Pound My Mac, I want to thank you. I mean, you've been rocking with me for a long time.
To the wheels fall off.
To the wheels fall off. To the wheels fall off. And let me say this to you guys. Make sure you guys tune on Tuesday. I'm on Instagram live at Ask Naomi. So I do Tuesday Tea Time with Naomi. We had some great conversations. I'm able to speak to some of the fans, and I love that interaction with them all. As well as, remember, you have any love, sex, relationship advice, you always can email me at info@asknaomi.com. Yes, I will get back to most of them. I do. Sometimes I'm just gonna be honest. I'm just going to be honest. And sometimes I will share right here online. I will share right here online. You can also go to the website. We got some cups. We got some merchandise to kind of help to the circumstances, situations. Next month, we will be doing fundraising because we're going to adopt a family.
Yep.
We're going to adopt a family for the holidays. So make sure you got your coins together so you could donate, and we can give it out. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But again, thank you. I enjoyed this show. You enjoyed this show?
Yes, I did.
I kind of wrapped that real good. Wrap like a little bow, like a little bow. So what I'm gonna say right here is that, guys, I always say, be good to one another and yourselves, and what? Always keep it sexy. See y'all next week.
Hey, it's the goddess Nyomi Banks, and I hope you enjoyed that last episode of Ask Naomi Bridging the Gap. And if you did, please like, subscribe, press that notification button, as well as comment. I'll see you next week. Keep it sexy.
Ask Naomi Bridging the Gap. This is where we talk about love, sex, relationships, cultural differences, and so much